Let's do it. Do it. Hope you're doing well where you are. Just getting the YouTubes up and running. Gotta, blow off the dust. It's been a weird weekend. Lots of, I don't know, it's dreary here. I hope it wasn't dreary where you are. I hope you had some sunshine. The sun is shining now, of course, because it's work week. But, just checking things out here, making sure that we're live. Let's make sure we got audio over here in the live stream. And we do. We just need a half second to make sure that's there. Gonna move ye old YouTubes over so that we can predictably move forward here. All right, so we got a couple of projects in this morning, and yeah, I think that will do nicely. Come on over here and we'll arrange a few things before we get started. All right. Greetings one and all, Chris Courtney here, new Pragmatic. It is time for the feedback loop. Couchbot has fired, so we're off and leaving the station this morning. I've got a couple students in. It was, coming out of the weekend. Sometimes you have a lot, sometimes you have a little. Actually, I want to give props. I actually reviewed quite a bit of work over the weekend. Abby was in with her competitor matrix. Bren was in. Eddie was in. There may have been more, actually. I feel like I looked at some stuff from... Yes, well, I could just check. Come on, Chris. Let's see here. Who all was in this weekend? This weekend we had, Eddie. Eve was in, okay. Eve, Abby, and Eddie, and then Bren turned her stuff in yesterday, and we have Bren and Abby today. So Abby's operating at an extremely high level right now. Super excited to see her coming through. And also, on my side, I'm just writing front-end curriculum right now. It's all like CSS box models and media queries and selectors, and you can actually follow along. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen really fast. You can actually follow along. All of the stuff that I'm creating is there's the stuff that's on newpragmatic.com. Or like here you have selectors. And all this material, I'm using CodePen to give you the ability to come in and live edit the code so that you can mess around with this and kind of get a sense of, so that changed everything to purple, which wasn't it's fine. But if you want it to, work with, like here the vertical height is 40. If I changed it to 70, it's obviously going to make it stretch far beyond the boundaries that we've got there. But this is all, when you get in here, you can edit live in the browser. You don't necessarily have to be over at CodePen, but if you wanted to go over to CodePen, that's available to you too. codepen.io/newpragmatic, and you're going to see a lot more here in the coming days and weeks. As a matter of fact, like this is the profile, and some of these projects you'll recognize. But what's not up there are the buckets where I have just the example files, and if you go to collections, you'll be able to access all these as well. So I believe that would be here, and then you click on collections, and then you click on like Web 101, and here's CSS examples, and these are the public ones right now. I've got some that are private that will be public soon, but just know that there's more of this coming. Over the weekend, I released box model, and I released and selectors was released late last week. So media queries is right after that. Type and colors right after that. We're going to have a wave of front end material specifically focused on CSS, because I do believe that is pretty much a great spot for us to begin our journey together. I've got a lot of thoughts on how I have written CSS over the years to make what I consider to be bulletproof, responsive websites that don't break on you. There is a method to the madness. Obviously, you're going to come up with an amazing plethora of way more creative stuff than I have and did. But we're going to get you all started down that path. Here we have Bryn. Well, this is actually Bryn's project. Bryn is not a user flow. Bryn is so much more than a user flow, as are all of you. But we're going to look here at Bryn's user flow really fast. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. So she's got a couple of user flows. This is setting up a weekly school schedule. This is scheduling whoa, hey, let's not do that. This is scheduling assignments, and wow, scheduling assignments has grown quite a bit. Here's grading assignments, setting up the virtual classroom, connecting classroom to district, connecting with other educators, reviewing comms from other educators, and looks like that's about all we've got there. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so I can look at these a little more in depth. It seems like, yeah, this is the one that has grown quite a bit. So I want to zoom in and kind of get a much better feel for what's happening here. So with scheduling assignments, we can log in. Obviously, we get to our dashboard. We're choosing a tab. We can either select the calendar tab or select the assignment tab. And Bryn and I talked about this. You shouldn't have. Previously, it was like to create an assignment, you had to go to the calendar tab, and you specifically had to create the assignment there, and that felt weird because when you and keep in mind she's working through the COVID schools project, and she's trying to create a way for educators to make assignments for scheduling and then to share them with other educators, which is a real twist on things comparatively to what you find in like a Google Classroom setup. So you choose the tab, go to the calendar, desired week, search bar, desired month, tab, enter subject, default options or custom subject, schedule Monday through Friday or individual day, frequency, recurring, not recurring, add description, apply the classroom. So that's a very straightforward, like if I'm going through and I'm kind of creating with the calendar in mind. Here, it's interesting because I think your assignments tab, based on what I'm seeing here, is much closer to what we talked about. Assignments tab, click on the icon. So I want to add one, enter assignment name, add description, include URLs for helpful source material, attach lesson video, and this is so key. And I posted something about this over the weekend. Somebody went through and talked about all the dangers of having these lessons just up on YouTube. Now, I know many of you are probably watching this on YouTube, or you've seen my other video tutorial series on YouTube. We're all pretty much adults. If I was doing this for grade school kids, I'd probably be utilizing a platform other than YouTube, because it's not about the video you're watching right now. It's about the video that loads next. And the video that loads next could be anything. It could be anything. And a lot of times the instructor isn't sure what parental permissions have been set on the video, and that impacts the algorithm and what follows the video. In short, it would be much better if these videos existed in a place that instructors had more control over what was shown around them. Okay, so I really like this idea of, hey, the school's going to capture the lesson video, and then we're going to package it up. So this is attaching the lesson video, attaching the lesson PDFs, adding instructions, including an assignment template, then choosing the subject, so there's like a drop down. I could argue that the subject could be further up because it seems like, when we think about how data works, we start off very high and then we drill down. So choosing a subject late feels a little odd, and I even think about this from the times when I upload videos to YouTube. Oddly enough, the first thing it asks me for is, what category is this? Is this film? Is this cooking? Is this education? I always have to select the education tab. And then I fill out the information that goes along with the video. Lesson start date, choose due date. I like this. This gives you a range for when something could be due. Apply to classroom, classrooms. That part is, interesting. Should that be optional? Do I have to know? And this is something that I guess the all three of these. Do I have to know the date now? Because I do see that I could save a draft. I can submit these changes, and I guess submit changes is I can either publish it or I can save the draft. I'm interested to know, like, are these optional fields or not? And actually, are any of these required fields or not? Figuring out some way to delineate that, I think, is important. So here's the assignment. So now I'm on the assignment tabs. I can create one, or I can view all the assignments. So here I can sort the assignments. I can sort them by start date, due date, subject, status. That's nice. I can see what that is. I can filter assignments the same. So I'm guessing if I sort by start date, it just sorts them in order. If I filter them by start date, it only shows particular ones. Then I can choose the assignment, view or edit, view assignment details, close it, make revisions, and here you've got all the pieces of the puzzle. You can apply it to the classroom, submit changes. So I think this, well, I can't really highlight and drag here. I think this is all pretty great. Everything through here is pretty great, Ren. What I am perplexed by is many of the details that are in here aren't necessarily in this initial calendar flow. Like the edit controls for the assignment, like you can choose the subject, you can select when it happens, you can choose frequency, and then you get into add description, apply to classroom, submit changes. What's interesting here is I really feel like a lot of the controls, like you've got all these controls for here's add description, and then you get all of these things when you go through it and create it, the assignment through the assignment tab, and then when you create it through the calendar tab, it is basically boiled down to add description, apply to classroom. So the two don't feel equal, and I wonder if either you need an expansion of what it means to create an assignment here, or you need to edit this down that basically says select from assignments or create assignment. And when you go to create assignment, it basically kicks you into this flow. So that basically connects the two. So I don't necessarily think you need to just keep expanding this out. At some point, this flow needs to connect down to here so you can create the assignment, because you already have that create the assignment flow. I don't think you need to replicate it here. You just need to connect the two at the right spot. Okay, so that would be my major update there. Abby is back in as well, and I want to take a look at Abby because actually I want to take a look at Abby's work. She said that she's having trouble with the overlays, and I want to see what's going on here. She's talking about the last page in particular. I think we've got a note here. I want to manually place the overlay on the correct photo. The frame size looks a little tiny bit taller than the photo. There's a space there, but I can't get them to line up. I did the whole flow, clicking between all the photos multiple times, but now I want to solve the issues of overlays. Okay, so so let's see here. The first thing I always check here is I check the overall size. 1040 by 684. Okay, so this one is 1040 by 733. This one is 1040 by 684. This one is 1040 by 733. This one is 1040 by 733. So this one's off. This one right here is off, and I don't necessarily know how it is off, but right away, like you can see right there, 1040 by 684, 1040 by 733. So there is a size difference. Okay, right away there's one that's off. I'm not sure if that's where it's breaking, but this is one of the reasons why I'm such a stickler. And I'll be honest with you, it's one of the reasons why I love getting out of programs like Figma or Illustrator or whatever, and I love getting into code, because when I tell it that it's a certain size in code, I always get that. But there's too many ways to break it inside of Figma, unless you're using components. Like if you use components efficiently, you can typically avoid most of this. I want to take a look. I'm specifically looking for this frame 32. I want to look at the prototype. Okay, you can see like how this is linked together. I'm going to guess that it's this one. It's this little dish that's kind of diagonally. That's probably the one that's bouncing on her. So let's go ahead and let's take a look specifically at that. We're going to run through a lot of the other prototype stuff. I'm not really going to spend a lot of time there. Okay, so this is nice. Let's go to the Eat tab. By the way, if you go up here to Options, you can show the toolbar and footer. You can, and I'm gonna do that so that we can actually get up here. So I'm gonna hit Eat again, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Oh, is it chicken? Yeah, she does this really clever chicken animation thing. Now we go in Broccoli Devon. Okay, so here's Broccoli Devon, and I'm going to click the next one. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, it's not clicking around like I would have anticipated it doing. Let's go over here. One of the things that I like to do is I like to change how this is working. So I'll bring it down here just to skip over that. Okay, now we're back on this page. So yeah, right now I can't readily tell what's going on because they're not really hooked together. I mean, I'm guessing that they're slightly different, but what I really need is I need these to be to link together, but of course you don't necessarily want to link them together until you've got it sorted out. So this is 7684. Okay, 684. Okay, that works. 684. 684. That all works. So it's got to be down here at the bottom. Well, no, that is 733. Okay. Well, this overlay appears to be working fine. So 733, 733, 733. Apparently, I wasn't selecting the bottom four. Let's see. Are there other? I don't see anything else that I'm not seeing the same issue here. Let me scroll back up. When I manually place the overlay on the correct photo, the frame size looks a tiny bit taller than the photo. I can't get them to line up. The whole flow of clicking between the photos, I did the whole multiple times, but now I wanted to solve this issue of overlays not lining up first, then redo the flow again. Okay, so all right, so if I okay, that looks fine. And it's a tiny bit off the edge there. I'll give you that. This overlay as well. And so often on this, I want to see like where it's lining up. So it's at a 371. I'm looking for this again. Where does this start at? That starts at 371. I guess it doesn't give us the total control that I'd like to be able to like see exactly where that's at, but it appears to be lining up. And I know this is probably driving you nuts because you're seeing something that I can't necessarily see. But I don't see. I'm not encountering the same hiccup here. I mean, these appear to be lining up exact. So, and of course, this is lining up over the top here. I'm curious that if I decide to link to this one down here, and we put this on click, open an overlay 40 manual. I'm just curious if I can get the same sort of like issue that you're feeling that's happening. Yeah, I'm not feeling that. Let's click down here. Yeah, the moment I get those guides, I feel pretty good about where things are. And then I come in. That should be like dead on there, Abby. So I'm going to click through here again. Refresh. So what I'm looking for now is I'm looking for the ability to, oddly enough, it breaks there because we've clicked here. Once we click there, we can't, like, the only two places you can go is here, and you can't really go back. And you can't do that until, like, you've got to, connect these all together. So, this one, for instance, this one has to connect back. Open overlay manual, and now you have to have that. So now we've got the back and forth between the two. If we refresh, we click here, that'll get you there, that'll get you there, that'll get you back. So, I understand the frustration here because, as you stated, like it's not lining up for me. But I'm looking at it, and I look at the, when I'm lining this stuff up, I'm looking at, okay, what are the sizes? Where is it lining up? When I put that overlay in place, am I getting the guides that tell me I'm snapping at the XY? That's the way that I'm making those decisions. So, with that said, I'm not encountering the same thing. I will say that I like the updates that you've made. I think that this design work, like for the ingredients and the directions, looks really nice. While I didn't look at everything here, I think that overall it is moving in a nice direction. I would say that on the click here, I did think that it was a little odd that you had the shadow on the inside. Like I could see, typically I'll see color maybe change. Maybe this changes changes to a darker tone or something, or maybe the shadow in behind gets a little brighter. This interaction is a little odd, just to be completely honest with you. It feels a bit out of step with compared to everything else that's on the screen right now. So that's the one thing that I noticed. But otherwise, I wasn't able to replicate the issue that you're describing. Feel free to ping me if you're watching this going, no, Chris, you missed it. I was talking about something else. Happy to take another look. But I didn't see, all I saw was like you've made a lot of improvements. That's all that. But let's talk further if I'm somehow, if we're just crossing paths here, okay? And missing each other. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this edition of the Feedback Loop. I've got a fair amount of meetings coming up with many of you today. And if I'm not meeting with you today, I hope to see you right back here again tomorrow. Take care.